Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters, as we are coming to almost the end of this season. Now it's time to talk about the methodology of da'wah. Now, we've been speaking for many weeks now about the tools and the traits and the characteristics, things that will really help you and empower you to give the best da'wah possible, right? So now it is the time. Now it is the time to implement these facts and practice them upon yourself and upon your audience. And again, before I mention the methodology of da'wah, I'd like to really remind my brothers and sisters that these are not things that we Muslims will do to trick people to become Muslims, or to just really make them like Islam or this or that. These are things that Allah, the Most High, the Almighty, and His Messenger, may Allah's peace and blessing be upon him and his family, they commanded us to do. These are things that we should be doing as Muslims, should be doing as human beings, right? So it's not, we're not doing it with a second agenda or for any other gain, because at the end of the day, we really do not need, anybody's reward except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're doing this for Allah's sake, for seeking His pleasure. At the same time, we're doing it for the sake of our fellow brothers and sisters in humanity, that Islam to them is like the cure to every disease that they have. And wallahi, I'd love to mention this example. The example of the Muslim compared to his non-Muslim surrounding is like, imagine two neighbors. One neighbor is screaming from pain all night. He has just a terminal disease that's just eating his body from the inside, and it's just incurable, and nothing can treat it. But there is one man who has that cure for it, who can treat it. And this man is sitting across from him, listening to him screaming all night from pain, listening to him weeping and crying all night and just suffering, while he does have the medicine to be able to relieve this man's pain. But this man is saying, well, I have the medicine, but I'm not a doctor. He should go to a doctor to seek treatment. Or I just, my neighbor is arrogant. If I try to give him the treatment that I have or that medicine, he may not take it from me because he's too stubborn. Or he may say, well, I don't have the time for it. I will at one point in the future. What would you think of such a man? That's very selfish, right? That's very, at least to say, it doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense. Because at least he should try to approach his neighbor and try to help him. This is the example of the Muslim who is not giving da'wah, because as I said in previous episode, that we have the healing, we have the cure to all the problems of humanity. SubhanAllah, Allah created us, and He knew our problems, and He knew, because He is the all-knowing, of course, and He also brought us on the top of this planet and brought the prophets and messengers with books to help us live better and resolve our conflicts and our differences and our pain and suffering. It's all in the scripture. That's why we always say that the Quran is a constitution, is our constitution. Everything is in it. Really, everything is in it. So, talking about the methodology of da'wah, now it's time to practice it. So I would like to start with stages. The first stage, I would call it, and again, you'll see that we are utilizing all the tools pretty much that we mentioned in the previous 11 episodes, pretty much. And like practically when it comes to giving da'wah, and the method of da'wah or methodology of da'wah here, I would call it the first step. Building that foundation happens through da'wah by action. Da'wah by action. Now that a person, before he invites people, he should be really a good example. He should be truthful. He should be honest. He should be hardworking. He should be hospitable. he should be generous. I mean, he should attain as many good qualities as possible. He should be a good human being. Because guess what? A person may have certain concerns about you because of your color or background or religion, you know. But the moment you start dealing with him with fairness, justice, kindness, and you show every good quality, husn al-khuluq, you have a good moral character, and you show great example, he will understand that, or at least he will say, you know, he's not like them. Yes, I don't like his people, but this guy, I like him, he's different. Wallahi, it will make, you will touch his heart that way, because he will feel that you really care. So the first step is to really care. You as Muslim, as a human being, to care about your fellow human being. And how is that practiced? For example, a person at his work, he should be hardworking. He should portray a good example to his co-workers. A Muslim should not be late to work, should not be, you know, just procrastinating his work tasks. He should be really hardworking person who is showing a great character. He should be smiling. He should be helpful to his co-workers, and he should really try his best to show them a good example of being honest and truthful, and just like, you know, what it is what they call in the US a good citizen, somebody who is really helpful to society. A person in school, a Muslim in school, should be helpful to his classmates. He should be hardworking. He should really do his very best to be successful, so that his fellow, you know, classmates would look up to him. This Muslim guy, he's really amazing. He's intelligent. He's hardworking. He's got good grades all the time. He gets good grades in school, and I'd like to be like him. You know, even if he don't like you, just that alone will make him look up to you. And you'll be so surprised of the stories I've seen and witnessed of classmates just becoming Muslims in college or high school or even middle school because of examples like that. A Muslim, you know, in society, you should be kind to your neighbor. You make, you know, especially on occasions, you make sweets, go share a plate with them. Maybe invite them to dinner once in a while. Be smiling. Have your house in a good shape, because you want to show them that you are a clean person, that you are, you know, a person who really added something good to their neighborhood. And that would be the beginning of everything. You know, subhanAllah, I recall, like in 2006, I moved to this neighborhood, and subhanAllah, it was predominantly Caucasians, and we were the only Muslim family living there. And I remember my neighbors did not like me. They didn't like my family, especially they saw clearly that we are Muslims, and seeing me and my wife and in the Islamic dress and so on kind of made them upset. And I remember receiving the worst and most insulting looks. SubhanAllah, we didn't do anything. We never wanted to deal with, you know, with them in a bad way or retaliate even in the least of manners. We just chose to do our own thing and just keep moving, as they say. And subhanAllah, until a year later, the same neighbor who insulted me and gave me like the dirtiest looks, subhanAllah, he approached me. He crossed the alley, and he came to my side and introduced himself with a big smile on his face, and he told me, you know, welcome to our neighborhood, and we really like you guys, and you kept the house very well maintained. It's so quiet. We love your family. The people before you had a lot of parties. They had, you know, their house was a mess, and so on and so forth. And subhanAllah, we became friends. I invited him. He invited me. We exchanged conversations, books, you know, long conversations, you know, during the day, during the night. And subhanAllah, until one day, my neighbor came to me, and I remember we had this book called Miriam in Islam, Mary, peace be upon her, in Islam, and he read it, and he came back and he discussed the book with me, and he told me, you know, my belief has always been about Mary and Jesus, exactly what you guys believe. Whatever you believe from your own Islamic perspective, this is what my, just intuition throughout my life, despite of whatever they said in church, I just never made sense to me. So subhanAllah, he read it. We had, I remember, very, very long conversation that night. And he said his shahada after maybe discussing, for about maybe good 3-4 hours, 5 hours probably. But it was, after maybe 6-7 years of that insulting look he gave me. And that really touched me, because alhamdulillah, I've given da'wah to so many people, and mashallah, I've witnessed a lot of shahadas during my lifetime throughout the globe. But it just, it was a very personal experience, because you go from, I remember I can never forget that day and those looks. And it ends with this person becoming a Muslim, and it ends with this person becoming a very, very beloved friend, almost treating me like his own son, a white old man who's just predominantly living in a predominantly Christian environment. Even claimed at one point that he was, a hardcore redneck, to turn into a Muslim and to be proud to be a Muslim was very, very touching. And that was really a great example on how you should never give up. And no matter what people do to you, never retaliate, because wallahi, you never know. Allah may guide them one day. Look at Umar ibn Khattab, what he used to do to Muslims. He used to torture Muslims the most. Then he became Umar, that we still mention his name and admire him until today, and he'll be admired until the Day of Judgment. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.